Hello, this is Adam Gobetti running for Broomfield City Council, Ward 5. One of my campaign promises is that I will make sure you have the information you need to give informed feedback and hold our city government accountable. If elected, I'll continuously and actively share information and perspective on what is happening in our city. The goal today is to show how to find information on our city's budgets and a step-by-step example of one of the simplest views of how the city is doing. If that doesn't sound like your idea of fun, don't worry. It's still useful to know where the numbers come from, even if you don't ever use them directly. And you can check out our other videos that focus much more on analysis and updates, maybe even a bit of fun. I highly recommend 300 Million for a shorter and more musical view of the state of things. So, for everyone else still with me, time to make like a CVS shopper and bring the receipts. Depending on where the numbers come from and when they are pulled, completely accurate sources can still provide confusingly different numbers. So one of the best ways to understand what is going on over time is to use the most consistent data available, in this case the annual budget reports. Nothing is perfect, but these audited documents provide consistent views of the data at consistent time periods. I'll include a direct link down in the description, but if you're on the homepage of our city site, broomfield.org, you click on Engage, you go down and you click to learn about city and county operations. Unfortunately, we still have more clicks to go, so you click on Annual Budget and aha! Well, actually, you are not quite done yet because then you have to scroll down again and click on the actual budget page where the documents are stored. Each document only has a few years of data, so you have to pull from multiple reports if you want to look at something over time. So opening the 2019 document and looking at the top level summary, we have final 2017 data, semi-final revised 2018 data, and the planned budget from 2019. The forecasts are usually very different from the actuals, so I focus on the actual numbers wherever possible. We can switch to the 2023 document and see more recent numbers, but it's important to note that the brief analysis we'll demo in a moment requires pulling all of the data from all 5 documents 2019 to 2023. Now, another important note, when you hear discussions of city budgets, you hear ballparks anywhere from 300 to 600 million. Things like capital improvements are absolutely critical on the spending side, and things like grants and so on are extremely important on the revenue side. And each of these topics could be multiple videos on their own. They're very important. The best way to understand the day-to-day operations of the city, though, is the core city revenue and the operating budget. So that is our focus today. Switching over to analysis, first we pull 5 years of data from the budget reports. I've also added in population numbers. That's easy to get from a number of reliable sources and is also in the city documents as well. You'll notice I'm making notes of actuals, revised, and proposed up here. So I am keeping track of sources and how reliable the numbers are. And looking at this first overview of the data, the numbers certainly went up over the last few years, but it's hard to know if that is good or bad, as our city has grown quite a bit. So the next step is to normalize it. We take the 5 years, 2018 through 2022, since real numbers for 2023 are obviously not available. We normalize each data set to the base year of 2018. Note I did change the order here, but it is clearly color-coded. I'm not trying to pull any tricks. The logic is city population drives demand for services and also is an important driver of city revenue. And ultimately, over the long term, spending has to relate to revenue or there will be major problems. So, population, revenue, spending. These numbers are now a lot easier to understand, but we add a graph and the story is now extremely clear. The population goes up about 8%. The annual core revenue goes up about 26%, and that is quite a jump, 3 times population growth. And finally, ouch, the operating budget is up 56%. And this is clearly part of an ongoing trend and obviously not a one-time anomaly. We need to change this trend, and I need your support to do it. Remember to vote in November. Volunteers and donations are critical and appreciated, and we absolutely need to make sure as many of our neighbors as possible know what is happening and get this information. Just like everything else in the digital world, it helps a ton if you like and subscribe, And I'll go further and ask that you share these videos directly with friends and neighbors. See you in November.